Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Monster Castle. Thanks to all those who watched the first video and subscribed last week. Last week I explained the things I was going to go through at the end of the video, but actually I've decided that it might just make this video way too long. So for this episode I'm going to focus on which buildings I think it's best for particularly the new players to focus on, and then what a good initial castle layout is. So let's just jump straight into it. The most important building by far is the throne. The throne, if it's destroyed, it will grant the attacker automatically a 100% victory, which means that they'll get the maximum loot available from your castle, they'll get the 3-star victory, and the maximum amount of bloodstones available. Now, to make it difficult to destroy this throne, I personally think it's a good idea to position it as far as possible from the point at which invading troops can enter your castle. So to see these points, if you click one of the buildings and then click outside the castle, you see this green aura appear on the bottom level. I'll just do it again if you missed that. Now that green aura shows you where troops can invade your castle. So you can see just how many buildings I have in between that point and the throne itself. Basically, I'm just trying to make it really hard for the troops to get to the throne. Now, when you upgrade the throne, that will allow you to build new types of buildings. It basically unlocks them, particularly defensive structures. On top of that, by upgrading your training rooms to a higher level, it will allow you to recruit different types of troops, and also you'll be able to do what's called researching the troops to a higher level. So we'll just go into that in a bit more detail in a minute. Another point I think it's really important to make is that when you upgrade the throne to level 16, it will unlock a third hero throne, which means that you're able to recruit a third hero, because you basically start off with 2. Now, having a third hero is a massive game changer, because it doesn't matter how well upgraded your defensive structures are or your troops are. If you don't have that third hero, it's going to make it so much harder for you to attack players and defeat them, especially during alliance wars. So if there's one major tip I'd like you to take away from this video, it is aim to get that throne to level 16 as quickly as possible and get that third hero. The last point I would like to make about the hero throne is that it does take a long time to normally upgrade them. So you need to try and time it carefully so that by the time it finishes upgrading, you will be able to log in. Because when you upgrade the hero throne, particularly at a low level, it will increase the size of your castle, typically by 1 space width-wise, or 1 level height-wise, or even both. So if it finishes upgrading and you're fast asleep or you're not able to log in for whatever reason, you're going to have these green loopholes appearing everywhere. Especially, they might even appear right next to your throne. Now, if that castle layout is used during an alliance war, and if you're, let's say, a sentinel, which means that you're automatically put into your alliance's defensive lineup, that could literally kill your alliance's chances of winning the war, because the other alliances are just going to slice through that sentinel like a knife slicing through butter. You know, it's basically criminal offense number 1. So yes, please time the finishing of your throne carefully. The next 3 buildings which I think are really important to focus on are the training rooms, the laboratories, and the Mojo Chamber. So the training rooms, they allow you to upgrade, well, to recruit different troops. To the new players, you'll automatically be able to build orcs and gnolls, and orcs are great. So don't think that that's a bad thing. As you increase the level of your throne, you can increase the level of your training grounds, which means you can begin to recruit troops such as the goblins, bears, pumpkin bombs. You know, I'm a big fan of the pumpkin bombs, bats, and one which I've just began to experiment with is the spirits. Unfortunately, I'm just upgrading my laboratory, but if you're not upgrading it, you can click on it in the same way that I clicked on the training room, and you'll see a screen similar to this, except that you'll also see a list of spells, and the laboratory allows you to upgrade, well, what's called research your troops. So you can see my orcs are level 18, which gives them health points of just over 1,000 and damage of 75 per hit, which if you compare it to a level 1 orc is massive. Oh. And that's really important to research your troops. For new players, you know, you've got different paths you can take. I personally prefer to specialize with orcs. Sometimes I mix them a bit with bats, as you can see, but normally just mainly orcs because they're quite quick and cheap. And then the Mojo Chamber is what you use to cast spells. So if you click on spell, you can see the different spells I have. The Lightning Storm, which is the spell on the left, is I think what you should focus on if you're a new player. It's really powerful because it allows you to destroy defensive structures before your troops have even set foot inside a player's castle. Also, casting spells takes up quite a lot of mojo. So when you increase the Mojo Chamber, it increases the amount of mojo you have by 2. So you can see I have 36, and it takes ages to replenish. I think it's 2 hours if you have the maximum amount of mojo. So getting that mojo up as high as possible will save you a lot of time, particularly during Alliance Wars where you're attacking lots of castles. The next buildings I'd like to talk about are the gold mines and the wineries. These are what produce your wine and gold, and what took me a while to notice actually was, notice if you position the gold mine on the bottom level, it says it has an hourly output of 200%. If I move it up a level, that decreases to 150%. Now if I go right to the top level, it's on only 50%. So the lower the level your resource buildings are positioned at, the higher the hourly output percentage is. Now, this is kind of debatable. Some players will put all of their resource buildings on the bottom level, whereas others will put them all on the top levels, or others will just do a mix. I personally think if you log in every couple of hours, or you never actually log out, you know, some players just dedicate their phones to this game, then it's fine to put all your resource buildings on the bottom level. Alternatively, if you're going to log in for a good amount of time, maybe just a few hours, then why not just move your resource buildings to the bottom level? And then before you log out, collect the wine and the gold and move them back. Alternatively, if you don't actually log in that regularly, then it might be a better idea to just put them all on the top level. I personally put 1 or 2 on the bottom level because I do log out every couple of hours, but I know that if one resource building is destroyed, it's not going to be a massive game changer in defeating me during an attack. The next building which I'm going to go into is the Hero Throne. the Hero Throne allows you to, or basically the level that the Hero Throne is positioned at will dictate the level that your hero can walk on. So you can see this Hero Throne belongs to the Lava Lord and allows the Lava Lord to walk on just that level. Now, apart from that, upgrading the Hero Throne doesn't actually do much apart from increasing the building's health points. You can see here it will increase it by almost 200 health points. Now, I think its health points are always great, but considering that your number one priority as a young player should be to increase your attack strength and your defensive strength, then I wouldn't bother upgrading the Hero Throne, particularly because it means you can't actually use the hero whilst it's being upgraded. In a similar vein, the gold mines and the wineries, they won't increase your attack strength or defensive strength too much either, apart from naturally the building's health points, but they are actually very good at whacking up your level really quickly. I personally held off upgrading them because I just wanted to focus on my attack strength. But then once my throne reached level 18, I realized I have to actually reach level 46 myself. So at that point, I maxed out my gold mines and wineries. And I think that's a good way of doing it actually, because by that point, I was strong enough to be able to make a significant contribution points-wise during the Alliance Wars. And then that kind of brings us to the Treasury and the Wine Barrel. These basically store all of your wine and your gold before you've spent it on upgrading buildings or researching troops. Now, if they get attacked, you're going to lose a lot of loot, which is why I've crammed them right in the top right corner, and I haven't even put any spaces between them, because before I did have spaces, and I'll just go into it actually. Defense. It's probably good just to quickly show you what happened. Which video was it? This one. So if you notice that I lost just under 380,000 gold. Basically, this guy summoned some skeletons to the left of the wine barrel and just put this protective bubble around them. So even though I have defensive structures, they're just not strong enough to take down that to protect the treasury. Once his protective bubble finished, they did destroy the skeletons, but by then the treasury had been destroyed and I lost just under 380,000 gold. Painful, very painful. So I changed the design slightly. It just means that he can still summon his skeletons to the left of this winery, but by the time they destroy the winery and they get to the treasury, hopefully that protective bubble will have run out or be about to run out, and then the magic terrace, the cannon, and the Zuma beam will be able to take him out. Or her out, you know. Girls and boys play this game, so... Now what I haven't mentioned are the defensive structures. For example, crossbows, barricades, etc. I was going to cover that in this video, along with a bit about dragons and the magic beanstalk, but actually I think that will make the video too long. So I'll be covering those topics in the next video. I might even do that this week if I get a chance. So if you like this video and you want to be the first to hear when the next video is available, please subscribe. You can use the subscribe button below. You can also add me on Facebook if you Google search Insidious Warcry. And from there, there's a link to our Facebook group. Warcry is basically the alliance I belong to, so you can request to join that group as well. If you do decide to do that, just let me know with a message that you play Monster Castle, because I do get a lot of friend requests from non-players. I don't really know why. And also the links to those two pages are below in the video description. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope you have a good day. All right, take care, bye.